All right, everybody. Welcome to Drew's virtual happy hour. We are here tonight with we like to refer to as the Queen of Uruapan, the patron saint of sugarcane, the
Now
only
con
person,
pavimento.
the only person I've ever seen hit a cop and have the cop apologize to them. Our guest tonight is Miriam Pacheco from Uruapan Charanda. Miriam, I am so happy that you're here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here with you.
And so we're gonna jump right into it. And just so you guys know, I have some questions prepared for Miriam. But if you guys have any questions at all, there's a chat that you can use. Just feel free to jump in there. And as you know, we've already been listening to Miriam for a few minutes. Sometimes if there's any words that she can't figure out, either William or Raza will jump in and help us with some translations. She speaks Canadian just fine, but English is a little bit harder. So
Gracias.
so with that being the case, why don't we just start with what is Charanda?
Charanda is the beautiful spirit, sugarcane spirit from Michoacán.
And what makes it unique?
Unique, a lot of things. Like especially the meaning of charanda is red soil in the ethnic language. There is Purepecha or Tabasco. The meaning is red soil. So our red is very red because we have volcanoes around and a lot of minerals. So it's something very unique from here. It's red and the altitude. It's from, I don't know in feet, but help me please, but it's like 1,300 metros to 3,000 metros sobre el nivel del mar, over the sea level. So, and now there are some high parts like Tancítaro, that is another town that before they produced charanda, but they don't have anymore now, just avocados, but it's part of the deal. Even when now they don't have, they have before sugarcane there, very high from the sea level.
About 4,000 to 10,000 feet above sea level.
And another thing, it's water. We have a river here, and water is very, how do you say when, aquí nace? Aquí nace.
O sea, como manantial.
Sí, manantial. We have very good quality of water.
Yeah, so springs.
Sí. And the techniques, I guess, like all the EOs, it's about culture, about how you learn from generation to generation. Don Cleophas, his family made mezcal before. That's how he learned how to distillate, because his family, we don't know how many generations behind, he produced mezcal. So when you know how to make an spirit, it's easy to make from any materia prima, from any
raw material.
Yes.
Yeah.
So also my dad loves to make some agave spirits and all kinds, because they love to distillate, fermentation and everything about that. It's our life for many generations. So
that's really cool. So because you guys have been doing it for so long, I think since 1908 is when Charanda started. And when you do it for so many generations, I'm just curious, was there ever a time in your life, Miriam, where you were not going to be involved with rum, that you would have been doing something else? Or was rum always in Charanda always going to be what you did for work and for a living?
For living, me in my case?
Yeah. So like, you have this long tradition of family making charanda. Did you ever want to do anything else, or was it only charanda that you wanted to do?
No, I really wanted to do. I always love it, and it's something that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
But uh, I think it's something that you have with you because, for example, my kids, one of them, they love music or medicine, nothing to do with with this. But for me, it was my passion and my life.
Very cool. Um, and one of the other things that was really cool when I was down there with Summer, we did a tour of the distillery, and every person we talked to had worked there for over 10 years. And in fact, your head distiller has been there for 35 years, I think is what he's at. And
Okay.
I'm curious, how how do you make people stay for that long? Is it just your charm, or are you paying them more than anyone else? How do you do it?
Both, we need to pay as much as we can, and you have to feel happy what you're doing and enjoy your job and feel like a part of a family, because we spend a lot of time in our jobs, so it's important to feel happy, of course. It's uh, happy, and of course it's important to get good money as much as we can.
Right.
Yes.
And in Uruapan and Michoacan, avocados and blackberries have kind of taken over. Has there ever been temptation to cut down the sugarcane fields and plant avocados so you guys can cash in on that, or are you still saying like no, sugarcane or bust?
No, in fact we have some avocados and berries.
Oh, so you do have some.
Not too much because we of course we are not going to, but we need that to support the to pay the workers with that money, because we receive less, of course, less money. And yes, it's another money to keep it working. It's just a very small part of the fields, but it's my dad. He had it like that with some avocados and berries. So if you go, you are going to see some avocados and berries, but most of it is sugarcane, of
Yeah.
course.
No, that's really cool. When we were there, you could tell that you really love Uruapan, and you showed us a really cool city. We went to your national park, which we had to pay for. You didn't. But what is your favorite thing about Uruapan, and I mean, outside of the distillery, like what keeps you there and wanting to continue to build the city up the way that you have?
Maybe people, like in every town you love people, because even if you think in Uruapan and you maybe it comes to your mind violence and all that problem of drugs, people who is really from here, and we are from here for many generations and for many years. For example, now with this problem with COVID and all that, we are very together. We are because avocados, as you know, make a lot of money. So they are all buying things for the hospitals. A lot, like we have enough things for this because we are very together. The restaurants, the bars are very. We have a big group, and we support each other, and I think that's what I like. That.
Hey, Miriam,
Yes.
the other day you and I were talking, and you were telling me about how you guys were producing something to help the hospitals out. Do you want to
Yes.
talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we have a columna, column. Yes, that it's we rehabilitamos.
Yeah, so they kind of rehabilitated the column still.
Yes, to get to have some alcohol from sugar cane, from molasses.
Refurbished, dude.
Almost 94, or not very high, but enough for the antibacterial, to make and for hospitals. So we are donating that to the hospitals every week, and they have enough for. But there is a lot of people now calling us asking for alcohol, because I was telling William that big companies, they are selling all to the States and to Europe, because they are paying a lot of money for alcohol. So we don't have enough in Michoacán, in Mexico. It's crazy that everybody was like looking for alcohol, and very expensive. So that's the way to help here, and to help us something with to pay salarios and gastos.
Yeah, salaries and expenses.
Yes. So that's our part, to do our things that are in our hands to help now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't surprise me at all, because, like I said, you're the queen of Uruapan, so you got to make sure you take care of one thing I want to ask you about.
Pasa now, and has pavimento for the queen. But not Jaguar. I don't have a Jaguar like the queen.
Well,
sorry.
We'll get you one. We'll get you your own mini one. So, in running this company, and in spirits in general, I know you have a close group of friends, like Graciela from Real Minero, and I wonder, for you, what it's like to be a woman in this business that is, predominantly men, but then to have that that support group, and how you guys are really leading the industry, and what are the things that you guys are talking about, and the things that you're doing, and what do you encounter being in a male dominated world? Like how is that for you, running the distillery?
No, that's one of the great things about this industry, and that it's the people that and you learn from them, and you teach, and wonderful people, most of them, like 99. There is 1% that I didn't like, but 99. But Graciela is one of those souls that you think that you know them like forever. I don't know how to explain, but we are like, we talk when we see each other, or by telephone, like friends, since
Soul
children,
sisters separated at birth.
yeah, very together. But I learned from her not just about business, about life, and about everything. It's very nice to have friends like her that I admire and I love, like you.
Oh, thank you. And and with that, and I know you kind of said it a little bit earlier, like when it comes to dealing with some of the problems in Uruapan, it's definitely, it can be portrayed a little bit more negatively than it actually really is, because there are so many amazing people there. But when you operate in a city that does have a lot of that organized crime, what are some of the struggles that you run into, and what are some of the things that you try to do to, not stop it? I'm not saying you're like Batman or anything, but what are the things that, how do you counter that and how do you deal with it?
It's difficult. It's really difficult. We do what is in our hands. Like with some friends, we try to speak with the people who is in charge and tell them, how can I help you? What do you need? How can we improve things here? But now we know we cannot go that far. I can speak here with you now, but because I couldn't say it, for example, in Facebook or another, because it's really dangerous. We cannot close the eyes for that because they are involved, the police and the government, with all that. And if that happens, you cannot do anything because it's in their hands. You can say it's in society hands, but it's not. It's a point that you cannot go farther. Más lejos, sí. Help me, William.
Sorry, I was having audio issues.
Oh, that was correct.
Sí, más
Farther.
lejos, como
Sí, farther.
sí, como ir más lejos.
Sí, to go farther.
And but of course hay extorsiones.
Extortion.
How do you say?
Oh
See,
yeah.
extortion.
Almost the same. And of course, it's difficult if the roads are closed often and you are not sure your mercancía, your stuff is going to be safe because nobody is going to steal your truck or your. Of course, it's difficult, but you have to continue and do your best, and you are not going to move to another place, so just trying to do the best and not getting involved or try to make a line to be a part of all that.
Right. Right. Well, and I'm happy that you're willing to talk about that because I know it's not easy, and it's definitely dangerous. So we're thinking about you often when we read different stories and stuff like that. I'm always happy to hear
No, it's fine.
You're still doing okay. But let's focus back on the Charanda itself. And your family is actually the one who started the DO for the Charanda and the denomination of origin. Can you explain what that means and how do you make Charanda? Like, what are the things that to make it Charanda? What are the things you have to do?
We have like you have the first time. The first one you have in the States and in California with William was the blue one. Can I have it with me? Can you
grab
see
it? Yeah,
Grab
you can
it.
grab it.
Y la chiquita.
Pues sí.
Mi vasito. My. So this is the first one that we love with William, and it's beautiful. By the way, our friend Fernando Murillo, that he made these beautiful designs. He passed away last week because of cancer, but it's a very. We always remember him with all these beautiful designs that we love. So this one is 0.5% molasses. Molasses, they come from two. They come from the DO area. We have two
Refineries.
Yes, and it comes from there, and the molasses we produce molasses in the column. The column that my dad made like 35 years ago. That it's kind of French, but with mexicanizada.
Eso.
That I love that, and I'm very proud of our column, because some people they say, oh, column, I don't like, and I love our column because it's Mexican French style. So, so my dad, they didn't like, he didn't like molasses in a pot still. He didn't like the flavors, so he always liked the flavor molasses in a column and sugarcane juice in a copper pot. So this is 50 and 50. 50 molasses in a column and 50 sugarcane juice in a copper pot still. By the way, the copper pot stills, those that we use now, they were sleeping that like for 20 years, right, William?
Yeah, they were resting off to the side.
Hey, Miriam, I actually have a picture of the stills. Can I show them to people?
Yes, sure.
Okay, let's see if I can actually make this work. Here we go. So this is what they look like. Did that pop up for everybody?
Columnas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sí.
Yeah, so as Summer described, it's very Mad Max-esque, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, you just walk into this place and it's just they're monsters. They're so big, but yeah, they're just churning out all kinds of amazing charanda. So
Yes.
that's what the stills look like that she's talking about.
Yes, and we have the small copper pots that they are like for 1,000 liters. Let me show you.
Hey, Drew, have you got a photo of those?
I
I
think
have
so.
a photo here.
Oh.
Alambique, like a teacher. So these are the copper pots that we have now.
Let's see.
And I will show you this. Like, this is Michoacán, and this is the DO zone.
That's where all the red volcanic soil is?
Yes. Yes.
In Miriam, how many municipios are there?
16. 16. ¿En todo Michoacán?
No, pues in the DO.
16.
16.
Sí.
And in the entire state?
113.
113.
Sí.
Okay,
So it's
I have
all, right,
I have
yes.
one photo here that I think I can make work. Hold on a second. So there's a not completely backed out photo, but with her
Es
photo
Lázaro.
and my photo together, you can kind of get the whole picture.
Sí. Es Lázaro working.
Yeah, so we got to drink right off of that still. It was really, really cool. And delicious.
So you are all invited to come. I will take care of you, and nothing is going to happen. So
like I said earlier, you know, it's something that is a really cool experience, especially to go with Miriam, because you get treated, you know, like royalty everywhere that you go to. And everybody really loves her. And so if you do find yourself down there, definitely hit her up, because it's cool to feel that cool when you're just hanging out and stuff like that. And again, I'm not kidding. Like, we literally hit a cop, and then the cop like apologized to us, and then he drove away. So that's when you know you're hanging out with
see, don't worry about anything. We are going to take you to Cocina M. You remember that place that
Yeah.
you love?
So good.
No, that was.
William loves to go there, and it's very nice. And Robert likes the other one with that they sell chorizo. I have very nice places to go, and also carnitas.
Oof. That would be so good right now.
See, and this is a baby, beautiful baby. It's same, but it's the baby.
That's
You
the one
know
that you
this
can.
one?
That's we just got it, so it should be hitting shelves soon. That's the one that you can like sneak into movie theaters and stuff like that. It'll be. That's how we'll be
It's
able to drink.
beautiful.
Yeah, it looks really great.
Yeah.
So Catherine had a question, and it was, what is a DO? And so Catherine, just so you know, a DO is a denomination of origin. So the easiest explanation for it is kind of like champagne, but for Charanda, it has to come from Michoacan. It has to come from that map that Miriam showed of those municipalities. Yeah, that great visual right there. My Vanna White down in Mexico. So it has to come from there. And at this point, Miriam, there are more rums coming from Mexico than ever before. Have you tried them? Are there any that you really like, or is it just like, nope, Charanda's still the best?
No, I am not like that. I think everything is unique and different. For example, I have tried some from Oaxaca, and they are good. Also, you know, many people don't relate sugarcane or rums with Mexico, but we are, after Brazil, we are the second producer in America of sugarcane. And for us, distillate sugarcane spirits, it's very common. You know, sugarcane is not from America. It's the Spanish, they brought, how do you say, the past?
Brought.
the sugarcane, but it arrives to make Mexico in 1493.
1493.
1493, and in Michoacán, 1544.
The 1544 cane arrives in Michoacan.
But at that time, it was all over in America, and it was very common to make spirits with that because the Spanish people, they knew how to distillate, of course, sugarcane. But we don't relacionamos
Relate.
We don't relate.
ron con Mexico because it was more common like white, not in a cask or in barrel. But it's very popular, we drink like in Colombia and in every place in America. It's very common sugarcane spirits, but of course also in Mexico. But we don't think in Mexico as a rum producer, maybe because we are not very related with that word, more with aguardiente.
Right.
Or charanda.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, well, it's not rum, so that's why you're not associated with it, you know? Now, that does bring up a question I had for you. What is the proper way, and we actually had a question, you know, can Charanda go in hot cocoa? Is it great if you put it in hot cocoa?
Absolutely.
And then also, just what are the proper ways to drink Charanda to you?
Depends who you are with.
Okay, so do all the scenarios. Just
or your mood. Of course, I don't like because it depends on you, because some people love Coke, and if you like Coke, it's okay, it's perfectly, and it depends on. If sometimes you want like something sweet or some salty or just neat. How do you say neat or?
Yeah, neat.
Yeah.
Neat.
And for example, this one, we love this one, and it's also very good cocktails because you can keep the flavor there and you don't lose it. But also with sour flavors. Here, for example, in Uruapan, it's very common with ponche. How do you say ponche? Like you put Jamaica and guayaba and please help me, you guys.
Fruit punch.
I think that was something that Summer tried when we were down there, and I don't know if she made it through the whole drink because it was.
But that was terrible for her. It's
a different one.
A local fruit that Summer. she was like, what is this? It's like a small fruit, very common here. A yellow one is called changunga, and it's like when you eat. Summer said that it's like when you eat an apple that is very madura, and it's like it has like boronas. I don't know how to explain it, but it's when you hate those apples, and but it's very common here, and we love that fruit, but not for summer. No,
I mean, she was a trooper, and she drank it down, but I mean, and I tried it as well, and it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, this is just wild.
And they are very nice and you said, oh, it's interesting. But now we are trying to recover an age and antigua receta. How do you say?
An old recipe.
An old recipe, and it's you put piloncillo and pineapple and bananas to ferment.
Ooh.
And when it's almost fermenting, you add the charanda and you cut the fermentation with that, and it's very good. And it's charape, and it was a very old way to drink it. And it's nice.
How did you guys like find an old recipe in like Puebla's like cabinet, or how did you find that recipe?
With some cocineras tradicionales.
Traditional cooks?
Yes. From, you know what is that? Please help me to explain, William. Who are they?
Who are they?
Cocineras tradicionales purépechas.
Yeah, so traditional cooks who are cooking Tarascan style food or purepecha.
Yes. And they are trying to keep the food, the local food. We have, for example, in Oaxaca and Michoacán, and in every state we have our own cocinera, traditional cook, and they are recovering all those old recipes, and they told me about that, and it was very nice to hear it.
So you're talking about like the Tarascan and stuff like that. Was that a group of people? Was it a language? Like, when you're talking about the Carrasco, like, what are you talking about? Like, what was that?
People who was before the Spanish here in this area.
The natives of the Michoacán area. In their language, they're called purépechas, but the Spaniards call them Tarascan.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, there was a documentary that came out, 2 years ago, Miriam, where they flew over a site with radar and mapped it out, and they found a purepecha or Tarascan site that is the size of Manhattan and possibly could have had the same population as Manhattan.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And they couldn't, los aztecas no pudieron conquistarlos, ni españoles.
Yeah, the Aztecs nor the Spanish were able to conquer them.
No, we are not easy to conquist.
Very cool.
It's nice. It's very nice history. So please come. You are very welcome after this COVID thing. You are very welcome to come. You will love it.
Yeah. So in addition to making Charanda and establishing the DO and all that, you also, and you showed us a little bit earlier, the music school that you started. And can you talk about the music school and what your goals are for it?
Yeah, that's a very nice family project because we are all helping in some way, because now this area belongs to, before it was my dad, now it's my sisters and brother, and we are prestando.
Lending? Lending?
Yes, part of the building. It's more than a half. It's a music and art school. It's also supporting by, for example, Drew and William and Robert. They send some money to buy some instruments and to paint, and also people from here, from Uruapan, they paid every month, and we have around 90 kids, and now they are taking virtual classes with Zoom and with anything, with WhatsApp or anything. And they don't have instruments like the piano at home, of course, or only guitar or violin, and they can come here alone and playing the piano safely with and they also have 12 teachers that they have very good level, and they teach violin, guitar, because guitar here in Michoacán is very popular because we have a very nice town, Parachora. It's very close from here, and we have a lot of I don't know how do you call the people that makes guitars and all that.
Luthiers.
Lauderos. Lauderos.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, it's a very nice project, and it's a small thing to do for the kids to have an opportunity to develop if they want to learn how to play some instrument and not get involved with drugs and with all that bad stuff, and with a lot of discipline. It's very cheap, or you don't pay nothing, but you have to come, you have to follow a schedule, you have to be very disciplinado.
Disciplined.
Yeah.
Yes, to have a place. Yes, it's a very nice project.
That's beautiful.
It was a really cool project, and it's definitely something that we'll continue to do events where we can raise money and send it down there, because obviously any donation can really go a long way. So if you guys are interested in helping with any of those projects in the future, just let me know, because we did have a lot of fun with it. We teamed up with Cantina Alley in Sacramento, and we're able to raise some money, and it was really cool. And it's such a cool project. When we got to visit, as Miriam said, it's free for kids to go to. So the fact that they have more options than some of the more devastating ones is really cool.
Thank you.
So Miriam, what's when we get out of this COVID thing, what are some of the cool projects that you guys are working with? I know you mentioned that old recipe, but do you have anything, any cool side projects? Because I know for myself, I bought a bottle of the Hongos, and the Hongos is like one of the craziest things I've ever drank. So maybe talk about that, and talk about maybe some other future stuff that you guys are doing.
Maybe in the States, in a future, we are planning to have the Uruapan or an añejo, Uruapan or Tarasco, with an añejo with all this COVID thing and all, we stopped a little bit with William, and that's why we are working with this one right now. But I think our next project will be añejo.
Yeah, no, so, just so y'all know, and I'm sure, I've seen other people from the industry kind of tuning in, and, lots of projects kind of got put on hold. The añejo is definitely one of them. Miriam has got well over 300 barrels ready to go. And, we've kind of had to put that on hold, as well as the hongos. Right now we're kind of going to focus on the core until we get through this. And then once we're in the clear, hopefully we're in the clear, we'll begin moving forward with the añejo and the hongos and a couple other things that we've been talking about.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
What
share
what
a
is the
picture.
hongos?
Hongos or mushrooms.
Hongos.
¿Hongos alucinógenos?
Sí.
Oh, not those.
Ah, órale.
No. Otros hongos que son como afrodisíacos.
Hasta mejor.
Alguien preguntaba, Leslie pregunta what kind of barrels we have. That's an old picture. Now we are if you go, you are going to see the cava, the a little bit darker, and we have some cherry cask, and most of them are from Tennessee and from Bourbon. How do you say Bourbon?
Bourbon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bourbon, but Tennessee is different, I think. And some we just bought with Miguel Perez, a friend. We bought some beautiful barrels, just a few from how do you say that wine from Hungary, Tokaji, that nice wine from Hungary. We bought some, and we have some other, just a few French barrels, but most of them cherry and bourbon.
Is that a deliberate choice, or is it you just get what you can get?
We like to make experiments, and let's see what happens. It's nice to have more barrels, and it was for Miguel told me, a friend that William know, that someone was offering those nice bottles, so we said, okay, let's see what happened. So I will tell you how is it with those bottles. You should come and try in some months.
Definitely.
We're all waiting.
Yeah. Miriam, where do you think Charanda will be 10 years from now? Or where would you like it to be?
I would like to have to recover the categoría,
The category.
Yes, and to have more people who make it well. I mean that other people see like an opportunity to do it in the right way, and because it's the truth that we are in danger of extinction.
Yeah, extinction.
Extinction, and we cannot close the eyes to that, because we're just a few producers. Some months ago, I found one great guy that he is producing now near our sugarcane fields, and it's a beautiful family. And I was like kissing them, and I was like, and he was like, oh, I was afraid maybe you didn't like it because I was producing charanda. And I was, no, of course, I love you. and he is now working with us with some projects, nice projects, and if they are doing the way it has to do and very carefully and very in the nice way, I'm very happy to recover the category.
That's really awesome. And I will say, like, I haven't done a ton of traveling, but I did notice that in Michoacan, there's a lot more competitive support for each other, and it's really kind of cool to see. And it makes sense because, like you said, you could become extinct if you don't encourage people to produce it and hopefully produce it the right way. So so we'll definitely, you know, continue to try to do that. Um, and so with that, I don't have any more questions for you, Miriam, but I wanted to open it up. So we do have one right here. So Philip asked, what is the type of cane?
Philip is asking about the sugar cane.
Yes. Yep.
We have, I don't know the names in English, but it's criolla, cristalina, and we are very proud to recover a sugar cane that it was very used before, that it was caña morada, purple, the purple one. So we're recovering that style. So maybe soon William is going to have the first batch
Yeah.
or how?
Yep.
Yeah, the caña morada.
Yeah.
And it's very nice. It has a very different flavor. I love all, but it's very nice to have batch separate. And it's a beautiful cane that is like a little bit more dry, but muy resistente a enfermedades. Help me, please.
Yeah. So it's very dry and very resistant to remedies.
Disease. Disease.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Raza to the rescue.
Sí. La más fácil se te complicó.
Ya sé.
Ya se le olvida el inglés a William.
De vez en cuando.
Sí.
And then the sugar cane, is it all local sugar cane, or do you know if it's sugar cane from different parts of the world, or do you guys have any idea?
Local, how do you know it's local? But it comes from Spain, right? Oh, no,
Okay.
it was not always there, but it has been there for many years.
Right.
Somebody was asking if it's our own sugarcane. Yes, it's we have enough for us and enough to sell to the ingenio
Refineries.
for molasses. They produce the molasses.
Yeah, and they crush it right next to the field with a machine that I'm gonna hopefully pull up right now for you guys. But it's super. It's like from the 40s? The crusher.
The 40s, yes, in the 40s, la refinería.
No, the press is actually from 1921.
21.
So
Es escocés, Philip. It's from Scotland. We found that beautiful story about that company with William, because he read? No. How do you say?
Google?
He was studying about that company, and it's very nice, that history about that company from Scotland that they sold a lot of things like that around in Michoacan, and some of them are abandoned. They are just there, not working.
And medium, what makes it turn?
¿Qué? Tell
O
me
sea,
in Spanish.
o sea, ¿cómo se gira?
With water. With in other parts, it's very common to use an animal, but here everything is with water because we are very lucky to have a lot of water. We don't need an animal to move it like a taona. It's with water. I don't have a video with me, but it's very nice if you check on Facebook or on Instagram the Casa Tarasco, the videos, and it's beautiful how it works with the water.
Yeah, it's pretty enormous too. Like the videos and pictures don't do it justice to just how big that water wheel is. It's crazy, and it is cool to see like stuff like that as well. Does anybody else have any questions for Miriam? While we let's see. Yeah, so Philip was asking about the water wheel. Yeah, and that's what crushes it and brings it out. Does anybody else have any questions?
No? ¿Los aburrí o qué?
She's asking if she bored y'all.
Oh, no, of course not.
I have a question, Drew.
Okay, Val has a question.
If I may. Well, from the, I've tasted a bunch of ROMs, and a lot of them taste pretty much kind of similar. But from the first time I tasted Uruapan, and it had this I'm not very good in describing the tasting note, but it has this very special taste, like a chewing leaf or something. Is that the soil, that the red rock, lava rock, that has an effect onto that, or what is that? Why is that tasting a little bit kind of soury and like chewing leaf, the finish, which is pretty good. I mean, I can't drink enough of that.
I don't know, maybe it's just I don't know what is it, but it's the way it is. But and also it's different in every lote batch. Maybe it can change a little bit because of the weather, because of the time of the year. It could change a little bit, but maybe it's the soil, it's the water, it's everything that makes it like that.
But other producers in the area, like that competitor that just popped up, have you tasted their ROMs? Are they pretty much similar to yours?
No, maybe because I'm very acostumbrada. How do you say?
Accustomed.
Used to my flavor, so I can. But maybe it's similar. I think it's a little bit. Yeah, it's something that makes different. I don't know.
I need to come definitely and taste that and see what's going on there.
And then Summer had a question for you. What kind of sherry do you have for the sherry cast? Do you remember?
Spanish?
So like the Jimenez?
The Jerez Español? What do you mean?
She just wondering what kind of sherry it was. So if it's the Spanish sherry, I think it's the Pedro Jimenez, or she says what style, if you know what style. Dry, sweet.
Okay, it's dry.
There we go.
Yes.
And then hold on, I'm catching up on questions. Now they're flying at you. So I'm a little confused by Rom's question. He says, will the Win IB raw cane molasses both? Are you talking about the añejo? Let's see here. Oh, the split? On which one?
I'm asking if the añejo will be raw cane, molasses, or both.
I know.
Autocorrect got me.
No entendí. Sorry.
Secret?
What? No, sorry, I didn't understand. Sorry.
The
So for-
añejo?
Oops, I got muted somehow. Sí, el añejo va a ser la mezcla de los dos, o si va a ser puro guarapo, o vamos a sacar de los dos.
Pues de todo tenemos. Let's see. Maybe.
Yeah, so
What? We don't know which one first, but maybe 50-50 first.
and we're also looking at different proofs, and you guys will just kind of have to wait and see.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I got nothing but time right now, so that's okay with me. So Philip wants to know. I saw that you let people sign the barrels in your rick house. Who is the most famous signee? I mean, obviously it's me, but if it's not me, who's the most famous person to sign a barrel of Charanda?
A ver, ayúdame, William.
No, pues la pregunta es, o sea, de todas las barricas que la gente ha firmado, ¿quién es la persona más famosa que ha firmado? Que no sea...
William, of course. And you.
See? I knew it.
Well, and Robert, right? I think Robert.
And Robert, of course. And JBS. A barrel is waiting there, and it says JBS since 2 years or 3 years ago, and nobody touched it because
I
it
do.
says JBS.
Yeah, that is definitely one that we need to get bottled and up to California as soon as possible.
JBS is on that barrel too.
So that barrel, JBS barrel is waiting, and it's the most famous.
Collection of
Will we
great
get the
signatures.
barrel actually?
That costs extra.
That's okay.
All right, can I say something though, since you mentioned JVS, Miriam? Is that okay to Drew?
Yeah, of course. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Sam.
Cool. Well, first of all, this is my drink number 5, because seeing William and Raza on the same screen, it's a rarity. So I can't be sober. Number 2, Miriam, you are awesome. We love you.
Muchas
We love
gracias.
you, we love you, we love you. And I promise you, I'm gonna come and sign this barrel that says JVS.
Okay. Promise. You promise.
Yep, deal is deal. So I know, I have a question to you. I know that we talked, Drew covered that. We talked about avocado, and I read a little bit. Looks like avocado is 80% of avocado produced in Mexico comes from Michoacan.
From
Yeah.
Uruapan and this area.
Yeah, and there is also, it's a big fish business there because you guys are coastal, so there's a lot of fish business there.
Huge business.
Yeah, okay.
The most of the producers are small, very small producers, but the companies are from California, like Calavo and Westpac, all are American companies, the big ones, and a lot of money is moving here because of avocados, and that's a very good thing because we have employment and of course money and dollars coming in, but also
And Michoacan also has Michoacan and also the Estado de Mexico have that that rare variety of avocado that you don't get up here, where you can actually eat the skin. It's like a very super thin.
criollo.
So it's a really thin skin, and you just kind of eat the whole avocado just with skin and everything.
Wow.
Beautiful. So speaking of Michoacan, I know there used to be like 100 distilleries, probably illegal distilleries, like 100 years ago. And now there's about 6 or 7, right? Or more.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So the technical question is like this. I know Robert he's been a big advocate of, distilled spirits that come from Mexico, but Uruapan has some kind of a special place in his heart. And I want to know why he's pushing this more than others. Let's, make it a business question. Maybe Robert can chime in, but I just wanted to see the primary source of this.
I can tell you exactly what it is, Sam. It is Miriam. That's why. It's because we want to see this brand be successful, and it is you can see it when you're walking around the distillery, like how much her employees like respect her and respect the family. And I think it's a special place for a lot of people. And I before Miriam and I even met in person, she actually sent like gifts to my daughter for because I had a daughter like early on. And so I mean, I think it's just kind of the type of person that she is. And there's a few things that me and Summer got to see when we were down there with her that just solidified it for me. So that I think that's 100% what the reason is. It's because
muchas gracias, Drew. Thank you very much, Drew, for those nice words for me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I am really blessed to have you and to meet you and because we are all together in some way, because we cannot do nothing if you are not making that big effort to sell it and to explain, because I know for you it would be easier to sell mezcal, or William who said, okay, I will take it, because it's something that is going to be very difficult because nobody knows about it, and it is not an easy way, and you are making a great job explaining and selling that we can be good producing, but the important part is to sell. So thank you very much for that support, and believe in this. And I know it's not easy. It's easy to sell something that everybody else it's familiar with, and it's easy.
Yeah, it is a group effort, and and I think it's we have over 20 people on this call tonight, and that's really great. And so a bunch of names that I don't recognize, so it's really cool that people are coming out and they want to learn a little bit more about this stuff from the source. So we certainly appreciate everybody that's coming out and helping grow the Charanda. And when I was in Miami and getting to pour it at Rum Congress, it was it was a hit. People loved it. From all over the UK, all over the Midwest states, people really loved the product. So just having cool people behind it makes it even better. Does anybody else have any questions for Miriam?
Sorry, yeah. By the way, Drew, about that Congress, we have a lot of people calling from Europe.
That's right.
Of you and a guy from a company, BBC or something like that, that he was calling and people interested and trying to find in Europe Charanda. Thank you very much. Thank you, really.
Yeah, the guys at Trailer Happiness, which is one of the best rum bars, tiki bars in the world, were losing their minds over it. So I'm really happy to hear that they followed up to a certain degree, and they're trying to get more of it. So that's really cool. I love that. I love to hear that. But yeah, so any more questions or anything? I know it's starting to get late in Mexico.
No.
And in Texas.
Yeah, but you're just weak sauce, William. We don't care about you, man.
Look who is complaining now. Who is complaining?
Well, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Miriam, for being our guest. Ultimately, the goal of these happy hours is
Thank you,
to escape a
Patrick.
little bit and enjoy yourself and have some fun. I think we had a lot of fun tonight, and you know, we have talks like this planned for the rest of the month. I have some really amazing people coming in, just like, you know, Miriam here, and hopefully you guys can come hang out some more. But at the very minimum, please go out and buy as much Uruapan Charanda as you possibly can. Give it to your friends, give it to your family. Tell them that it
Your
cures
mother on
COVID.
Sunday.
Yeah, give it to your mom on Sunday. It cures COVID. I can't prove it, but it's worth a try. You know, because we want to see this brand around in 10 years. We don't want it to go extinct. So so thank you, everybody, again. Miriam, we'll talk very soon.
Gracias. Thank you very much. Thank you, Raza and William, to help me. Love you.
Saludos.
Love you too.
All right. Well, have a good night,
keep
everybody.
Safe, everyone.
Be safe, be healthy, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, thank you,
Abrazos,
Drew.
abrazos virtuales. Luego nos los damos de a veras.
Virtual hugs.
Besos, gracias. Muchas gracias.
Bye-bye.
Sam, gracias.